guys realize that we now live in a culture where there is noise around us so much? Recently, I went to work at a restaurant because I wanted to break up the monotony of working from home. So I decided to go out, treat myself to breakfast, and spend the day working from this restaurant. And I left at lunchtime because it was just so noisy. I couldn't make calls. I couldn't really think. And I was like, wow, when did this happen? I remember there were so many times that I would go to a coffee shop and work from a coffee shop years ago, or just to spend some quiet time reading a book or whatever. But now, every time you turn and you go into a restaurant, a Starbucks, a coffee shop, whatever, there is noise around us. Whatever happened to the term silence is golden? Welcome back to Living Passionately with Pat Brown. This week I'm going to speak to you about operating in silence and how to get back to enjoying some silent time and the benefits of being in silence. Guys, there is nothing wrong with some peace and quiet. Oftentimes I go for a walk and I don't even use my headset because I like to hear the sound of the ocean. It calms me down. I like the quietness, especially when there are not that many people out walking on the boardwalk. And I enjoy that, taking in the fresh air and just to calm my mind and to relax my body, because it just seems like we're always going. We are so attached to television, to the phone, the iPad, the computer. There's no real time to shut down the noise until basically it's time to go to sleep. And I realized that I've become so restless at night trying to close my mind down, shut it off to get to that quiet space where I can have a good night rest. And so I started thinking about, shutting down the noise. So a few weeks ago, I started practicing driving in my car without music. Now, whenever I get in my car, usually the music goes on before I pull out from wherever I'm driving from. I love music. And so I always played music in my car. But I decided to, one day just said to myself, Pat, what is wrong with just being quiet in your mind and your thoughts and this loud music? So I started driving without music. And of course, though you have the distraction of the horns blowing in New York City as soon as the lights turn red and that type of stuff, it was just great to have that moment to think and to get some clarity. And so I realized, you know what? Silence is still golden. There is power in silence, and silence can also empower you. So, as I said earlier, I'm going to chat a little bit about operating in silence. Do you know that silence can really increase your self-awareness? It can also improve your decision making. How many times when someone is talking to us that we just listen to respond instead of really thinking through what they're saying to us, like really listening and paying deep attention before we respond? Do you realize there's such a big difference? I realize that silence can give us so much clarity, and according to psychologists, it can also improve our mental capacity and our mental clarity. Being silent helps us to respond more, and it also enhances the conversations that we're having with people, because we're not just listening to respond, we are listening to really absorb what they're saying to us before we respond to it, and thinking about what that person is saying. Sometimes it's so important that we take a moment to pause before responding, and then it makes us like to be able to respond better and more appropriately. So think about that. Think about when you're speaking to someone or someone is speaking to you, like just pause for a moment and see the difference. Silence can give us it's like giving us a gentle nudge that something doesn't feel right. You're sitting there in quietness and peace, and you're like, your emotions are kind of like waking up, right? And the thought of something's it just, I don't know, it like gives you some type of really like empowers you when you have those moments of silence. So think about the fact that silence can improve your self-awareness. It can also improve your self-compassion and also improves your decision making. Research has shown that silence can also help us with emotional healing. Yes, and a great Chinese philosopher said that silence is a great source of strength, and I truly believe that. So here are a few benefits of silence, if you will. 10 to 15 minutes of silence can improve your memory. That's a great reason to be silent, right? Silence is also a stress reliever. It enhances your creativity. Silence can improve your heart health. And this is according to the American Heart Association. Not according to Pat Brown, but according to the American Heart Association, silence can improve your heart health. Guys, that's enough reason for me to be silent. Take a moment of silence every day, okay? And there's also power in silence. It allows us to stop long enough to remember what is important to us. So just think about it. Consider this, that silence is golden, silence can empower you, and silence is power. I believe in you. I know you can do this. Take some time out to be silent. Shut the noise down. Allow your mind to reset and improve your mental capacity. Until next time, take care.